In this video, we will solve the age-old Minecraft mystery of why shulkers make you levitate. Or at least, that's the plan. I'm gonna try to solve this mystery by looking at the shulkers' backstory and history, and hopefully we find a satisfying answer. And future me here, the answer was not what I expected. The first thing I decided to do was look through this book called The Minecraft Mob Bestiary. While it's technically not canon, it's the best thing we have to making a cohesive theory and story that makes sense. As I flipped to the page with the shulker, I skimmed it through to see if I could find anything about the shulker that would help us solve this mystery. I quickly found something that caught my attention, which was this, quote, "The shulker resembles such common crustaceans as limpets, securely attaching itself to horizontal and vertical surfaces by suction with its strong foot." End quote. This indicates that shulkers are much like crustaceans and mollusks. The book mentions the limpets, aquatic creatures with a conical shell. Looking up more information on limpets, a creature I had never even heard of before making this video, these are some facts I could find. They are actually a type of aquatic snail. An interesting fact I think you'll appreciate about them is that apparently limpets' teeth are the strongest biological material in the world. They need tough teeth because they scrape algae off of rocks to eat. Their teeth are able to crush stones. Once a limpet finds a home to settle on, it will stay there for the rest of its life. Anyways, the thing about limpets relevant to this video is that they have a strong foot below them which helps them not be pulled away by any strong currents of water. The foot is a big muscle at the bottom of limpets that keeps the limpet suctioned to any surrounding wall. So, anatomically speaking, the bottom of a shulker should technically be called the foot, the center is the head, and the top part of the shulker is its shell. If you look at the shulker shell's texture, it always looks like the top of the shulker, never the bottom. The shulker shells can be used to create shulker boxes. Oh, and just to bring you up to date with shulkers in case you didn't know, shulkers are cubic-shaped mobs with a tough shell on the outside and a small little head hiding inside. Their name is a combination of the words shell lurker. On the bottom of the shulker, it has this weird spiral-like formation on the bottom. What could this mean? I thought about it hard for a while and realized it's something using the information about the limpets. Since limpets have a very strong foot to hold themselves down, shulkers probably do the same. The spiral pattern on the bottom of shulkers must help them stick to surfaces somehow. I theorize that these are grooves which help the shulker stick to surrounding blocks. You need good suction if you want to hang on to nearby walls, right? And since shulkers can stick to blocks in all directions including upside down, they need to be able to have a good grip. You can think of it like the bottom of shoes, which have many grooves to increase traction. We still have more to uncover. Now the next important question is, why are shulkers only found near end cities? And what even are the end cities and who built them? To start, we can use you guessed it, the Minecraft Mob Bestiary again to see if it'll give us any clues. Looking at the introductory paragraph at the top, it says, quote, "We do not know who built the end cities. The buildings are deserted, and the treasures hidden inside are ripe for the taking." Deserted, except for shulkers, that is. These creatures sit and wait for intruders, and shoot them with magic missiles. Were they placed there to defend the cities? Are they evidence that the city's builders plan to return someday? So the authors don't know exactly who built the end cities, but it does give us a good foundation to work with. The end cities probably weren't built by the Endermen. While Endermen can pick up and place blocks, they lack the intelligence to build a structure as complicated as the end city, and they can't even pick up endstone bricks or purple blocks. I know that there's a very popular Minecraft theory which says that Endermen were the descendants of the ancient builders, but that is a topic for later. Anyways, end cities might have been made by the ancient explorers and adventurers of the past, the ancient builders. Or perhaps another civilization which originated from the end. It mentions how whoever built these might want to return someday, or maybe they're gone for good. We may never know. Either way, whoever built these end cities clearly used shulkers to defend them, right? Shulkers can be found all over the end cities. Back when shulkers were first added, they were originally called city golems in the game files. This is proof that shulkers are technically golems which defend the cities. And if you know a thing or two about Minecraft's golems, you know that they all share one thing in common, that they can be constructed by placing blocks together in a certain order. So it's likely that the shulker was engineered and created by the ancient builders, probably using a mixture of purple and something else that's magical. Now, we're getting closer to answering the question of why shulkers give you the levitation effect. Since there is nothing else in the Minecraft Mob Bestiary that will help us, the next source I typically use to solve these types of theories is the Minecraft Wiki, also known as the Minecraft fandom. That's where I found that fact that shulkers were once called city golems in Minecraft's game files. A surprising fact I just found is that shulkers can now technically breed. It's a relatively new game mechanic that was added in Minecraft 1.17. Basically, if a shulker hits another shulker or even itself, it will duplicate itself and teleport to another block. As long as there are blocks nearby to teleport to and not too many shulkers, shulkers can keep on duplicating by shooting missiles. This leads me to believe that their missiles serve the double purpose of reproduction. This duplicating process only happens if the receiving shulker's shell is open. It kind of gets gross when you think about the fact that shulkers can duplicate by shooting themselves, which means that they can sort of reproduce by themselves. So yeah, let's not think about that. To quickly bring you up to speed, you get levitation whenever a shulker hits you with its shulker bullet. Its bullet is more like an enchanted missile, not a fast-moving projectile. It will keep following you until it hits a block, an entity, or is destroyed. Shulker bullets will explode on impact, though it doesn't actually damage any surrounding blocks. Since shulker bullets hitting another shulker will cause it to create another shulker, you could say that shulker bullets are actually sperm. Ironically enough, limpets actually reproduce in a similar way through what is called broadcast spawning. Broadcast spawning is basically when a species sends both its sperms or its eggs out into the water at the same time, where they'll hopefully get fertilized through random chance. It's kind of similar to shulkers, which send their missiles out in hopes of reproducing. You might never be able to look at shulkers the same way again. Moving on, shulkers have a chance of teleporting away once they reach half health and below, which is probably a safety mechanism which not only protects them from players, but also from accidentally killing themselves during their duplication process. Fun fact, in Minecraft's texture files, shulker bullets are technically called a spark, so interpret that as you will. I feel we are actually getting closer to the answer, but this still doesn't explain levitation. Like, out of all other potential effects, why levitation? So let's continue by looking at the shulker bullet's primary purpose, attacking intruders. While the shulker bullets themselves do a little bit of damage, most of the potential damage comes from their levitation effect, where, if you're not careful, you can potentially die from fall damage. Standing under a block or drinking milk are one of the many ways to counter the levitation effect. Shulkers are more dangerous in larger numbers since more shulker bullets will be targeted at you, which can make you levitate even higher, which results in a farther fall. But why did the shulker choose the levitation effect of all things? This is where things started to click. It itself won't levitate because of its strong foot with its grooves, which I talked about earlier. If the shulker bullets simply just did a lot of damage like an arrow, shulkers would accidentally kill themselves in the process of reproduction, which is the bullet's secondary purpose, with most of the potential damage being in the form of the levitation effect and not the actual bullet itself. Shulkers can reproduce with themselves without accidentally killing each other. It's an evolutionary advantage for the shulker using its bullets for two purposes. That about explains a shulker and why their missiles will give the player and other mobs the levitation effect, since shulkers themselves are not affected by levitation. I definitely overthought this, and I bet the developers at Mojang didn't intend for this at all, but hey, the facts check out and it's a plausible theory. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Minecraft theory, subscribe if you liked it, and thanks for watching.